Hello, YouTube. It's your boy Nathan coming to you to do another recap video. Today we are talking Married at First Sight, Season 18, Episode 18. New Love is in the Air. So we're just going to get on into it. So as we all know, Decision Day, we're past Decision Day now. All the couples except for Thomas and Camille decided to get divorced. And we already know there's a couple swap with one of them. So we kicked this episode where we left off last week, and everybody's at one's warehouse, whatever. And we left off with Thomas saying, basically calling out David and saying that, David, as your friend, I'm going to have to hold you accountable for what happened and everything. And Madison was saying that my situation with Alan was different than David and Michelle's. We all knew that David and Michelle weren't going to be together after this. And Michelle was at the bar and hearing that, she gives it that look like, you want to wait till I get over there? You really talk about my feelings now? And Madison's like, come on, let's do this right now. So Michelle comes over and says her piece, says you guys lied to me and everything. And Madison, I thought you were my friend. I stuck up for you. Now I feel stupid about doing that and everything. Madison was like, what did I lie about? I didn't know about that message. I didn't get that message and everything. But you lied about texting David and everything. You guys both of you lied to me in a couple months. And Madison went back down. She was like, I didn't lie to you and everything. Michelle basically, you are the bad guy and you're acting like the victim in this and everything. Madison was like, I'm not the bad guy and I'm not acting like the victim. And Madison actually called out, said something that Michelle said that we kind of knew, but it wasn't here. Madison said, Michelle, you said that David ain't your man and David ain't never going to be your man. So, and Michelle was like, regardless of the fact that me and David were probably going to get divorced, that doesn't excuse what you guys did and everything. And then, and then they started doing that babe thing. She's like, Madison's like, you really want to do this, babe? And she's like, don't babe me, babe, and everything. And, Carla was like, Carla jumped in the conversation. She was like, there could have been a lot of chances for you guys to tell the truth and everything. And, Madison started to get frustrated with Carla. She's like, hey, I knew that. But the thing is that, really, I don't understand why she's acting like she actually cares now. And I do agree. I don't know why Michelle is acting like she cares now, because she really didn't care. She just don't want to be made out to be the bad guy and everything. So, then they called out, I guess, they had a conversation in the bathroom about it, and I guess Madison got mad at Michelle for texting David or whatever, and Michelle was like, yeah, by the way, she got mad at me for texting my husband, my husband and everything. And I'm just like, oh, now he's your husband, basically. She kept on saying my husband and everything. And Madison was just like, you know what, I just don't understand why you're so mad. And then finally David was just like, you know what, I'm going to remove myself from this. This is just too much right now. There's no need. And, realistically, but they're fighting over David. David don't need to be fought over and stuff and everything. So, So he gets up, and he was saying, this is probably a mistake about it. And Madison follows him. She's like, no mistakes about it. No mistakes about it and everything. And so they go downstairs because one had there's a little boxing ring downstairs at one's warehouse, and they go past it and they started laughing as they were leaving and giggling. And Madison was like, a little immature, but this was funny. She was like, put me in a ring, Michelle. Baby, I bet you wouldn't last 3 seconds, babe. And I'm just like, you know what? I would have loved to see that because, that would have been, now that would have been some good. That would have been good TV. Now that would have been good drama to watch. Like put up, like I would like to see Madison and Michelle like in a boxing ring and stuff and everything. I think Madison would win, but somebody had said that, but Madison could probably win on the outside, but with Michelle being so bitter and everything, she could, and it wouldn't take much training and stuff and everything. So David and Madison leave the warehouse, and Michelle's up there trying not to cry and everything. The other girls were telling her, "Don't cry, it's not worth it," and everything. Michelle was just like, them coming here together, it's like they're winning basically, and they're making me to be out the bad guy, and it's when they're in the wrong and all that. And I'm just like, yes, like okay, yeah, like we've been saying this for weeks now. They are wrong for what they did on how they did it. They're not wrong for getting together, but they're wrong on how they did it. But Michelle, again, I'm going to keep saying it, you really didn't care about David. Like, you could not get past the fact that he lives in his mother's basement and everything. You treated him like a failure and stuff and everything. So, like David was out for revenge. And I don't agree. I don't agree with it, but like he was out for revenge. Now, as for Madison, she's just trifling because like she just did Alan dirty. I'm more, like I said, it seems like for me, it seems like I'm more harder on Michelle than I am on Madison, and I talk more about what Michelle's doing than more with Madison, because Madison is actually the worst out of the bunch for how she did, because with Madison, she wasn't attracted to Alan. She made him change a lot of things about himself, and then it comes in the middle of the night every night and everything. And then she just did a good man dirty. She's just, I've been in Alan, like I said, I've been in Alan's shoes and everything. He just got done dirty. So, but we're all talking about, David, Michelle, and Madison, but nobody is asking Alan. Now, Alan is just over it. Like, he's just out and going to do his own thing and everything and don't even care. But, nobody is giving justice for Alan. Like, I want justice for Alan. He's the one who got hurt the worst out of this whole thing. And we'll talk more about that later when I talk more about him. But anyway, moving on from that. Next, we get back to the apartments, and we're going to talk Carla and Juan. Now, as we know, Carla and Juan did get on decision day. They're getting divorced, and they're packing up their stuff and getting ready to head out and everything. And Juan asked Carla, "Do you see a future where we can just at least be friends and stuff?" And basically, Carla said, basically no, maybe like, just like out for coffee or something like that. And, she just said no, she didn't really want nothing really to do with them, because she just feels like she needs to be around people who actually want to be around her, who actually want her and everything. I think she was a little hard on Juan in that moment, but like, I would have thought, because how their decision day went, that there wouldn't be like any animosity. But now, Carla's starting to feel that animosity between them and everything. So like, it's just like they're done and everything. So, I mean, that's unfortunate. I really hope that they could at least be friends and stuff and everything. But, they were the biggest letdown this season, I feel like. But I'll tell you what, the Carla was the MVP this season. Every season, there's an MVP. And Carla was the MVP this season. Like, when I first started watching Married at First Sight, I started watching it in season 13 in the Houston season. And there's always an MVP from every season. Season 13 was Gil. He was MVP of that season. Then the Boston season, I had to give the MVP to Elijah Wan. The San Diego season, the MVP, I had to give that to Kristen. Season 16 in Nashville, the MVP would have to be, 16 was a little hard, I'll give the MVP to Nicole. They'll be co-MVPs, Nicole and Chris, and then the MVP from last season will have to be just Chloe. So, and this season was Carla. So yeah, Carla was the MVP this season. All right, so now moving on, we head to Thomas and Camille now. Thomas and Camille finally made a decision on their living arrangements, because there was a whole back and forth about that, before decision day and post decision day and all that. They finally made a decision, and Camille is moving in with Thomas. They move in together, and now Thomas he gave up a closet, so Camille could put all of her stuff in there basically and everything. And and she wants to rearrange the apartment to make it more like them instead of just like a bachelor pad. Because when you live alone and stuff, and I'm the same way with my place. Like, I have nobody living here with me. I have it set up the way I want it and everything. I'm sure if I have my girlfriend move in with me, she would probably rearrange it to make it more of our home and more like between masculine and feminine, basically. It just is what it is. That's what happens when you're in a partnership and stuff. But yeah, they make a decision, and so far they're doing really well. I'm really happy for Thomas and Camille. I hope by next week, by reunion, that they're still together and everything. And it's not going to be easy, but they finally made a decision. So now moving on, we have David and Madison again, and I'm just like, oh, here we go. When they left the warehouse, they actually they thanked each other for sticking up for each other, and David actually kissed Madison. And if I was Alan watching this, I'd just be sick to my stomach, because as now for David and Madison, like I said, they want to be together, that's fine, but this is just basically if I was Alan, I wouldn't be watching it, because this would just be torture for me, basically. But anyway, David and Madison, they go to a tattoo parlor. And you remember at the beginning of the season, David had told Michelle that he has a tattoo of an axe that he plans on removing. I think he said that at the honeymoon. And I remember he had asked Michelle to go on a date to do that. And she said, no, that's not a romantic date. Whatever, I want you to do that, but that's not a romantic date. But, Madison decided to go with them to, get a new tattoo to cover up that one and everything. And he said it was slightly painful, but he didn't feel much pain because he got his Madison with him, his new boo Madison and everything. He's all giggly eyed and smiling. Madison is smiling and everything and all that and everything. They get their stuff. He gets his tattoo on here. He has his shirt off and everything. Madison's all turned on and stuff. And I'm just like, okay. And, they later have a conversation about, Madison did warn David, don't be texting me, where you at all the time, and if I'm late for doing something or whatever, and everything. But he was like, absolutely. He's like, we are going to there's probably going to be times where we're going to have problems. It's not going to be, we're in the honeymoon stage right now and everything, but, I'm enjoying what we got now and everything. So, they was like, yeah, absolutely. We're going to have problems eventually, but, we'll get through them and whatever and everything. So coming back to that, then we go see Carla and Michelle go out on their little date and everything. And they're out on the date, just out in the club and bar, and just talking and just drinking and just goofing off. Carla is on one. She was just like, yeah, my marriage. They were talking about how their marriage is failed and everything. And Carla out screaming to everybody, hey, my marriage was never consummated and everything and all that. And people come on, I guess Michelle had said this in the after party. Yeah, people were coming up to her and everything, hitting on her and everything. It's saying were we really married? Because our marriages were never consummated and stuff and everything. So like, hey guys, I'm single. Like, and I'm just like, okay, yeah, well, but that's typical Carla. That is typical Carla. She be doing stuff like that and everything. Michelle said that she's not ready right now to look for somebody right now and everything, whatever. But, after that date, speaking of looking for somebody, let's talk freaking MM, shall we? MM, she goes on a date. She met up with an old guy from elementary school. His name is Brandon and everything. This dude named Brandon meets up with MM. They reconnected, have a nice little date. Brandon says that he was in a 10-year marriage. He got married real quick and it lasted like 10 years. He's in a divorce process just like MM. And he has like multiple jobs. I guess he's a firefighter. He does real estate. He does all kinds of things. Why is this dude, I understand going through a divorce, but with all them jobs, why is this dude now currently living on his sister's sofa? Now, again, no judgment, but something just doesn't seem right with that. You got all these jobs and you seem to be successful. And I understand going through a divorce and finance, you probably got attorneys and court costs and all that and stuff and everything. So you probably couldn't afford one, but you couldn't just find like a little small apartment just to get you through, coming up front saying you're on your sister's sofa. It's just like, okay, wow. But MM, she's going through her divorce, and Brandon. Now this is weird. Now this is where TV kind of screws things up with it. Brandon asks MM, "Well, how long have you been married?" And Emily's like, "A couple months." Like, really? How long did you How long did you know him before you got married? Like a day? He was like, "What?" Brandon, you do know there's cameras around. You do know that you probably have signed a waiver, and you should know that you're currently filming a show called Married at First Sight, and you should know that that MM it was part of Married at First Sight and just got out of a really bad marriage. Why are you acting surprised? And everything. So like I don't get it and everything. I don't get it. So yeah, they go on their little date and whatever. Then later, MM has a little party for the girls. Have all the girls like come and hang out, except for Madison. I think except for Madison, of course, she just had like Camille and Michelle and Carla come over and everything, and then they just have their little girls' night, and then Brandon shows up and everything, and MM introduces Brandon to all of them and everything. And like, ooh, who's this? Oh, So, yeah, interesting. Then later we see, we circle back to David and Madison. It's now Madison's first we see Madison with her father. Madison's out with her father, and she explained to the father what happened. She's like, my marriage didn't work out, and I ended up falling for somebody else's husband. I was another castmate. And, the father, I was torn in the middle with this conversation. The father did not hold her accountable for it, for like, okay, how can you do that to your marriage and stuff and everything? But, the father did say and told her, like, if this David guy makes you happy, then go for it and everything. Just, be careful. Like I said, I'm in the middle. I'm like, I wish he would have called her out about it, but, at the same time, I'm glad he's being a good supportive father and everything. So, like with that conversation, I was just in the middle with that. And then later we see David and Madison. It's Madison's birthday. She's turning 30. David went all out. Like he got them a romantic room, filled it up with blue balloons and everything. And he got her like some kind of dessert and had it carved and saying, you're so fine, I just want to eat you up. Yeah, go figure, and everything. And like Madison was just all in all. She was like, man, like, I don't think anybody can compare to David. David is amazing. David this, David that. Like, I think I might have found somebody, like this. And I have to say to that, kudos to David for doing that. I didn't think he had it in him. But, I can see, everybody is saying, oh, David and Michelle ain't going to last and everything because look how they got together. They're going to mess around and stuff and everything. No, I honestly think that David is really, really, he really, really likes Madison. Oh, and speaking of which, as they were having their moment in the hotel room on her birthday, David says to Madison that he loves her. He's like, I love you and everything. Madison actually said it back. She said, I love you too. You know what? I love you too. And they're kissing, and I think he's grabbing her rear end and stuff, and I think they got the groove on and stuff that night, basically. Meanwhile, we circle back to Alan. Alan meets up with Juan and saying, he's saying that he's got on some dating apps and he's like, trying to put himself out there and everything. And he said he wants to be a hoe, but he can't do it and everything. He has a brand new perspective on life and relationships now after what happened to him, everything. And he's just going to go out and live his best life, basically. And so that conversation leads to the final scene of the episode, and it's Thomas's birthday. And so Camille had planned a nice party for the cast to come to Thomas's birthday party and everything. And so everybody was invited. Prior to that, we seen back to MM, and I keep missing parts here. MM and Brandon having another date and stuff. And for some odd reason, Brandon and MM go to a ring shop, and Brandon actually proposes to MM. And I'm just like, for what? Like, he was like, I want to be with you. You're a good woman. This, and that. You deserve everything, blah, 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 and everything. Will you marry me? And MM said yes, and everybody's just like, why are they engaged so quickly? Like for real and stuff. I'm like, well, this is Married at First Sight. We're still on Married at First Sight, but still, what is the freaking rush for? You're still legally married. Both of you are still legally married and everything, but MM said, what she couldn't get from EKG is that this Brandon guy actually wants to be with her and everything. So and she didn't get that with her husband and stuff. But neither one of them can get married until they're both legally divorced. So they have to go through that process. So now finally we reach the Thomas's birthday party. Like I said, Camille sets up a birthday party for everybody, for Thomas, for everybody to come and just hang out, no drama. Michelle's there and everything. Madison's there. Michelle says she ain't gonna start no problems and everything and stuff. And so everybody's there and everything. David and Madison coming together and everything. David did say he wanted to talk to Michelle, and Michelle said no alone, but he was like, okay, well, I'll just say it out loud. I apologize for everything I did. You're a good person. I wish you the best and everything. And Michelle was just like, thank you, and everything. That's all I'll say with that and everything. She didn't really accept the apology. She's like, he's just doing it for himself. He ain't really doing it for me. I don't need the closure. I got my closure now. Madison and Alan. Madison, I guess I texted Alan, and Alan didn't respond. Do you want to meet up to talk and everything? And Alan said no, but Alan did say up front to Madison, I got your message, and I'm not trying to start nothing, but what? So, Madison says her apologies, and, and Alan was just like, I wish you and David the best. I really do. I'm out doing my own thing now and everything. I'm living my best life and everything. And I'm just gonna be me. Like, actually, like I said, I tried to be a hoe. I was not, but my dry spell is gone now and everything, and now I'm happy and everything. And Madison told Alan, good for you. I'm happy for Alan. You are a good person, and this and that. So, everybody's having a good time. MM brings Brandon and everything. And, Michelle and David say their last words. Madison and Allen say their last words and everything. Everything's all daisies and roses at the moment. But then, EKG shows up. And EKG, he be show every scene that he be showing up. He be wearing the same clothes. He be wearing the same blue jean jacket and with the brown beanie and stuff and everything. I'm like this, and with the glasses. I'm just like, dude, what? And he comes in, everybody's just like, oh, okay, and stuff. And so, Brandon was like, who's this guy? And MM was like, that's my ex-husband. He's like, and Brandon gets up. He's like, hey, boss, I'm Brandon, MM's fiance. And EKG was just like, okay. And then MM wanted to say something to EKG. He's like, can we have a word, EKG? And Brandon's like, and EKG's like, no, I'm good. And MM was like, well, okay, it's okay. I'll say it out here. And basically, I just want to say I'm sorry for what happened and everything. And, like I don't wish you the worst. I do wish you the best and everything. And I'm sorry for my part in our relationship failing and stuff and everything. And EKG just stood there like, okay. And he told the cameras, like, I call BS on that and everything. And she just made me feel like I'm less than. And as for her and this guy, it ain't going to last. It only lasts a couple weeks and everything. So now we also with MM and Brandon, like, I guess like this Brandon knows MM's cousin, and MM's cousin, who was that real pushy, like strict dude and stuff, gave the blessing. I surprisingly gave the blessing for MM and Brandon. Basically, we seen that earlier in the episode. So yeah, this was just like, what in the world is going on here? But yeah. So yeah, that was it, guys. That is the regular season finale of Married at First Sight season 18 in Chicago. But we're not done. We're coming back for the next 2 weeks for reunion. Then we still got reunion, and we got Where Are They Now and everything. Let's preview the reunion. It's just gonna be, from what I saw, there's just gonna be a lot about the Madison and David situation, and then MM and Brandon and EKG drama and all that. And, Carla and Juan, and stuff. So it doesn't, from the previews, it doesn't look as intense as last year's did, but like there's still going to be some stuff going on at the reunion next week. So I hope Kevin's ready for it and everything, but it shouldn't be like last year's reunion, because last year's reunion was just ridiculous. But anyway, guys, that is the end of my review. I'll be back on Monday to recap 90 Day Fiancé. So until then, I'm getting ready for some basketball tournaments and stuff and everything. So I'll be enjoying my weekend with that. So, and then on top of that, American Idol season is about to start. That overrides any show, any sporting event that I do. I don't cover American Idol on here because until the finale, but that's still my #1 show, so that will push back a little bit of my 90-day reviews. What I usually do now is I film right after the episode for 90 Day and upload it, and then I share it on my social media the next day. But But since American Idol is starting on Sunday, around the same time 90 Day starts, I'll be watching 90 Day on Mondays now and filming Monday evenings for 90 Days. So I just wanted to let you guys know that just timing wise when you're expecting my recaps. All right. But like I said, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Like we're growing. We're growing now. We're growing more than we ever had before. So I thank you guys for all your love and support. And until we meet again, y'all stay safe and have a good one. Bye, y'all.